I knew school was not working out for me. I didn't figure I was going to finish it. If any kids are listening at home, stay in school. But I figured the workplace would go better. I wanted to get started on that as soon as possible. And I was champing at the bit to get a job. And I was 15, and you couldn't get a job at 15. You had to be 16 to get a work permit from school to allow you to work. And all I wanted in the world was a job, which is so weird to look back at that, because all I want now is to never have a job again. Back then, it seemed great. I was like, yeah, give me a polyester uniform and a name tag, paper hat. Like, I would take pride. A friend tipped me off to this golf course where they would hire you even if you didn't have a work permit. So I nervously walked in there, and I said, hi, I wanted to apply for a job, but here's the thing. I heard it's okay if I don't have a work permit. And the guy looked at me, and he said, well, that depends. See, I heard that you'd be willing to work for less than minimum wage. And I was like, that's true. That's very true. And so they hired me on the spot. And are there any golfers here tonight? Okay, cool. Golfers are terrible, terrible people. And I'm about to prove it to you. If someone near you clapped when I asked where the golfers were, watch that they start laughing a little earlier than the rest of you. My job at the golf course was I was this kid who would drive this go-kart type thing with it. See? It had this cage around it, and then it would pull a sweeper that swept the balls off of the driving range. And a golfer's favorite thing in the world is to smack balls into that cage and scare the heck out of that kid as many times as possible. That was horrible. First day, it really wigged me out, and then you start getting used to it. But there were days when it would get really bad, and I'm driving it one day, and there's a guy on the range who I think must have been a pro, because he's driving ball after ball straight into the cage with force. Boom, boom, boom. And the balls start actually hitting hard enough that they're sticking in the links. And I'm like, hey, tic-tac-toe, man, you got 3 in a row, stop. You won. And what I'm worried about is that a ball is gonna hit a ball that's stuck and then ricochet in and crack me in the skull. So I start getting really scared, and then he drives one with amazing force, and it hits the frame of the cage. And it hits it hard and just makes this horrible loud ping noise, and I jerk the cart and go off course for a minute. And then I look over at him and I see him do this. Just celebrating like he'd hit a hole in one. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not proud of myself, but I lost my temper. And steering with my knees, I pointed at the man with both of my hands. Only I kind of pointed up and used a different finger. And I may have also started yelling. And there's words I'm not supposed to say tonight, and on that list of words, every word I yelled was on that list, except for the word you. There's word, you wording, word. And at that little show of emotion, a huge cheer came up from every golfer on the driving range. And then they just started raining golf balls down on me. Just all of them reloading and firing off. I look and my baskets that I'm supposed to fill aren't that full. I'm gonna be out there for a while. And this continued the whole time. This was my Vietnam. I'm still traumatized. I wake up in the middle of the night like, my wife's like, the golf course again. I was like, it was terrible. Finally, the baskets are full enough, and I go pulling into the pro shop, and there's my boss, Ed, waiting for me. And I pull in, and I'm like, oh my God, my first job, and I'm fired. I can't believe this. And I open the cage, and I jump out, and I start apologizing immediately. Just say, Ed, I'm so sorry, okay? I lost my temper, and I apologize, and I promise it won't happen again. And Ed says, Keith, that was incredible. We have never sold as many buckets of balls can you do that every time? And I said, yeah, I can. And so that's how I got started in show business. I lasted a couple months at that job, and then I did get fired on Christmas Day for forgetting to go to work. Because of course golfers want to golf on Christmas Day. Like I said, they're terrible people. They're like, oh, big family day, our Savior's birth, largest holiday in our nation. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go catch a quick, what do you guys call it? A quick 18 on the links with the ball thing. I'm gonna go torture a caddy. I'm gonna go make a kid in a cage miserable. No time for your presents, kids. Sorry. I'll look at pictures later. Terrible, terrible people. So I'm at home and I'm enjoying my Christmas, and my brother had come up to visit from Southern California, and he says to me, hey, Keith, I want you to know I'm so proud of you having a job at your age. That's incredible. And I said, oh, thanks, Eric. Oh, my God, I was supposed to be there 3 hours ago. Can you drive me in? And my brother puts me in his truck, and he drives me to get fired from the job he was so proud of me for having. I get out of the truck, and I walk into the pro shop, and Ed's waiting for me. He's got my final paycheck. I would experience this many times. And what I've learned is that they never are as considerate of you. They never care about you as much as when they're firing you. And they don't want to have any confrontation. Like, we got your paycheck ready, put a little extra in there. So I walk up to the counter, he slides a check over to me, and he says, hey, we won't be needing you anymore. And that phrase, again, I've heard it a million times now, but it was the first time anyone had said that to me. We won't be needing you anymore. And it really hit me in a weird way, right in the heart. And I went, you needed me? And I went out and cried in my brother's truck. Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho. What'd you get for Christmas? Fired. Got my last paycheck, though. Take me to buy some cassettes. I heard the Smiths put out another compilation.